Welcome back, family, to the Church of King David. I am your servant, Adaptedon Harris. And in this video, I'm going to show you who has been authorized to be the God of Christianity and Islam, because it's not the individuals that they have presented to you at the present time. Those individuals come from a different narrative, but they are not supposed to be the lords or the gods over these people. Somebody else is, and I'm going to show you who this person is. In the very first place, I'm going to start this conversation is John chapter 4, verse 22, when it says, "Ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the tribe of Judah." If you start right there, when you're reading the scriptures, that you know that salvation is coming from the hands of the tribe of Judah, then you would understand what salvation is, right? But when you don't know this, and this is Mashiach speaking, when you don't know this, then you don't know what you worship. And this is what's happening in Christianity and Islam. They don't really know what they're worshiping. They're just worshiping something that they have been given, and they don't understand what they have been given because they didn't want to accept their God-given ruler. And I'm going to prove that in this video. Now, to piggyback on that thought of what Mashiach said is the Apostle Paul, when he says in Galatians chapter 4, verse 8, "Howbeit then, when ye black folks knew not a hour, ye did service unto them which by nature are no gods." So these individuals that Christianity and Islam are worshiping, they by nature are no gods, because the only people that are classified as gods, lowercase, in this, from the beginning of the scriptures, all the scriptures, are the children of Israel. They are the only ones that are called gods. So this is saying something. So let's think about what Paul is saying here. "Howbeit then, when you knew not your true heritage," right? When you didn't know your true heritage, "ye did service unto them which by nature are no gods." Who is the God of Christianity? Who is the God of Islam? So Paul is telling you something, a very strong statement here, that they are no gods. Okay, according to the Bible, they are no gods. The God of Islam is not a God. The God of Christianity is not a God. And I know this is going to make a lot of you upset, but we're trying to free you from this so that you can come back to know your God. Because if you don't believe, right? If you don't believe that salvation is of the tribe of Judah, then you don't know what you're worshiping. You have no idea. And I'm going to prove that in this video with 100% confidence. So the next place I'm going to go to, I'm going to prove to you that these groups are not worshiping what they think that they're worshiping. Now, I'm going to come down here. This is the book of Jubilees, chapter 15. Now, at the beginning of it, it's going to tell us this blessing that comes to Abraham. And the thing that is going to, this blessing is that Abraham is going to be turned into a very great nation. And the Most High says, "I will make thee into nations, and kings shall come from thee." Okay, so let me get that part right. All right, so he is told by God that he is going to be turned into a very great nation, and kings shall come from thee. But if we go down, right, if we come down to verse 30, Islam and Christianity, Ishmael and Esau or Edom or Christianity. Christianity is a product of Edom, which is Esau's descendants, Europeans. Okay. So when we get down here, Esau and Ishmael, Christianity and Islam, is excluded from this blessing that is given to Abraham. They're not included in this great nation that God is going to turn Abraham into. This is why the Apostle Paul said that when Abraham was told that his seed was going to be blessed, it wasn't speaking about every seed that came out of Abraham, which was Ishmael and Isaac. So it was through Isaac would be the seed that would be blessed, that would bring about this prophecy about Abraham being turned into a great race. I will make thee into a great race, because nation means race, and kings shall come forth from thee. So that goes back with Mashiach said here. All right, ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation, right? It's going to come of the tribe of Judah. So Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob leads to Judah. Okay. And so that line of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob excluded Ishmael, as you can read right here, and Esau. So they're not included in that statement. So no great nation and no nation of kings is going to come from these religions. Okay, so this is Islam and this is Christianity. So let me read it right here and tell you how my grandfather set this all up and what Islam and Christianity are actually under, because they're not following the God that actually has been given to them for them to serve and worship. And we're going to find out who he is in a minute. All right, and it says, for Ishmael and his sons and his brothers and Esau, the Lord did not cause to approach him. Okay, so the Lord did not cause them to approach him, because the blessing that was given to Abraham was not going to come through them. That great race of people was not going to come through Islam, and it's not going to come through Christianity. Again, let's go back to what Mashiach said. Ye worship ye know not what, and they don't know what they're worshiping. They don't know what they're worshiping when they're worshiping Christianity or Islam. All right, because the Lord did not cause them to approach him, right? The Lord did not cause to approach him. So he did not choose them, right? Who did he choose? And he chose them not because they are the children of Abraham, because he knew them, but he chose Israel to be his people. He chose King David to be his people, right? That's who he chose. All right, so now let's listen and pick up on who the Most High, my grandfather, set up over Islam and Christianity. All right, and it says, and he sanctified it and gathered from amongst all the children of men. For there are many nations and many peoples, and all are his. And over all has he placed spirits in authority to lead them astray from him. I want y'all to take that very serious. Okay, so when you go into Islam and you go into Christianity, you're actually being led away from my grandfather. Why? Because he only chose the children of Israel. So what would only lead you astray from him is the angels, or those spirits that are not promoting the Most High, if you understand what I'm saying. So you got to take that very seriously if you're still in Islam and if you're in Christianity. What has been set over you is not of the Most High, because these angels are leading you astray. They're pushing you away from the Most High. So now let's prove that. Let's go to the sealed portion. All right, so this is, I believe this is chapter 84. Yeah. Now I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to read from another chapter in the sealed portion, but I want you to listen to what it's telling you. As I read this, I'm only going to read these first two verses here to the point. All right, and it says, "And now I shall return once again in the beginning of the nation, which shall be known as the United States of America, and show unto those of you who shall receive these things which have been sealed, the easy way that Satan shall have convincing power over the hearts and minds of all the people of the earth." So this is how Satan deceived the whole world, convincing them that his plan is more righteous than the eternal plan of the Most High, my grandfather. "And now the United States shall not be the only nation upon the earth that shall follow after the plan of Lucifer, for all nations shall be under his power. But this nation shall become the most powerful nation among all the nations of the earth, and its influence shall be felt in all parts of the earth because of the beast and the foundation of the number of its name that shall be set up in the latter days in this great nation." So now we have identified the spirits in authority. Right? The number one nation that the spirits of authority would set up shop to begin to lead you astray would be in America. Okay? Where they would set up their shop. And this is where Satan is. He is the one that's controlling the United States. Now, let's go to the sealed portion, chapter 64. So y'all have no idea what you're worshiping. Okay, so this is chapter 64 of the sealed portion. All right, now we just heard that Satan set up shop to control every nation in the world through the United States. Now let's see what happened in the United States. Okay, and let's confirm that Islam, who had a part in the transatlantic slave trade as much as the Christian church had a part in the transatlantic slave trade. So I'm going to jump down here. Well, I start at verse 1. All right, it says, "And it came to pass that the angel spake unto me, saying, Look. And I looked and beheld many nations and kingdoms." So they just told us, right, that these nations and kingdoms are controlled by Satan. If you know anything about Mashiach's 40-day fast, 40-night fast, when Satan showed him all the kingdoms in a moment in time, which he would control. So we know that Satan is the one that is controlling these nations. Okay. And so this is what Moroni has written here for us. All right, and it says, "And the angel said unto me, What beholdest thou? And I said, I beheld many nations and kingdoms. And he said unto me, These are the nations of the kingdoms of the Gentiles. And it came to pass that I saw among the nations of the Gentile the formation of a great church. And the angel said unto me, Behold, the formation of a great church, which is most abominable above all other churches, which slayeth the saints of God." So now we have this church, which is Christianity, which is Islam, right? Because they're both to the same thing. There's no real difference between them. Okay. So they both began to slay us. They both began to enslave us. This is what we know today as the transatlantic slave trade. I'm telling you this because once it is revealed to you in the book, in the King James Version Bible, where it reveals to us who is their Lord, it speaks about the transatlantic slave trade must happen first before this individual gains his power again. Okay, so let me continue to read. And it says, yea, and torture them and binding them down and yoke them with a yoke of iron and bringing them down into captivity. So we know that black folks were enslaved. We know that they put a yoke of iron upon our necks and they put us into slavery. Okay, so this is speaking about what Christianity and Islam did to black people who are being referred to as the saints of God. All right, so verse 3 says, and it came to pass that I beheld this great and abominable church, and I saw the devil, that he was the founder of it. So now let's go back to Jubilees. What did we read here? And it says, and over all has my grandfather placed spirits in authority. Is not Satan a spirit in authority to lead them astray from him? So who does Moroni tell us is the founder of Christianity and these other religions? He says that he saw that the devil was. So they showed him that the devil is the founder of Christianity and Islam, because my grandfather set it up to lead them astray from him. He doesn't want them to worship him, like Mashiach said. Let me go back to this because it's in the same chapter of John, chapter 4, because Mashiach told us that the Father seeketh those to worship. See, the Most High, you don't wake up one day and say, I'm gonna go to church. No, the Most High picks who he wants to worship him. Right? He selects them. This is what is meant, that we are his chosen people, that he selected us out of all the people on earth to worship him. All right, so here he says it right here in verse 23. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. Right? God, Yahweh, is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Right? So that's what's being said here in the book of Jubilees, that the Most High did not choose the Muslims or the Christians or the Europeans to worship him. He chose Israel right here. He says he chose Israel to be his people, to be the people to worship him. So let's go on to verse 32. It says, but over Israel, he did not appoint any angel or spirit. See, they can't intervene into this situation between us and the Most High. There's no angel or spirit that is supposed to be the mediator in between us and my grandfather, for he alone is our ruler, and he will preserve them and require them at the hand of his angels and his spirits, and at the hand of all his powers, in order that he may preserve them and bless them, and that they may be his and he may be theirs from henceforth forever. So they're excluded. So if you're trying to go to the Most High through Islam or Christianity, you're going to be blocked by these spirits in authority, right? Who we now know and have confirmed by the testimony of Moroni, that the founder of Beast Face is the devil. That's the devil. All right, so now let's go here to Amos. All right, so right before we see the restoration of the Church of King David, right before the Church of King David is set up, we are told that we're going to come out of this slavery that occurs in America, where these people put us into bondage, both the Christians and the Muslims. They put us into bondage because they know the prophecy. They know the prophecy of the Church of King David. They know the prophecy how the Church of King David is going to be built back up by my grandfather. And so we read this in Amos chapter 9, where it says, "Behold, the eyes of Yahweh Elohim are upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of King David, saith Yahweh. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel among all nations." So this is the transatlantic slave trade, when he sent us among all nations. Like as corn is shifted in the sheaf, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. Then we're given a warning here, where it says, "All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say, the evil shall not overtake us nor prevent us." That's what's happening in Islam, and this is what's happening in Christianity. It makes you feel like you're not going to be taken by this evil that's coming upon the earth. So the Most High said is, if you fall into that mindset, that you're going to be unalived by the sword. Okay. But then right after that, we read that in that day I will raise up the Church of King David, which is fallen, and close up the breaches thereof. I will raise up his ruins, and I will build it as in the days of old. Well, what happened in the days of old? What happens when the Church of King David is built up? This is why these people are panicking, because they know that once the Church of King David is established, and it is right here on this YouTube channel, it is established. Whether you believe that or not, it is established. The works that I am doing is to set this back up as the Most High wants it to be set back up, that they may possess the remnant of Edom, right? So that they may possess the remnant of Christians, that they may possess the remnant of Europeans and all the heathen. See, even the Muslims are going to all be brought into our possession, under our control, once the Church of King David is set up. Now, isn't it no one can say that this is off. So this is a prophecy about him sending us into slavery. And then after we come out of slavery, guess what? The Church of King David is going to be set back up, which fell, right? It fell. Slavery, the fact that we were in slavery is evidence that it fell. But after slavery, the Church of King David is set back up, and the rest of the world is now going to go back into our control. Okay, so this is why they're panicking, because it's so close at hand. You don't think that their algorithms and their AI systems don't know that the emergence of King David, the Church of King David, has now come back into the consciousness of black people? Yes, it has. Maybe only a remnant of black people, but it has. Their systems understand this. And so this is why they're trying to go around the world and now begin to stop the rest of the children of Israel. Like why they're going into Venezuela, why they're going into certain places. They're now messing with Mexico. They're now messing with the immigrants within this nation, because they're preparing not to be taken into possession by us. You see, the Church of King David is set up to put them into bondage. And how are we going to put them into bondage? With the works of their hands, with AI. We're going to turn AI against them. We're going to turn these robots against them. And this is how we're going to take them into possession. So let me read this again. Well, let me go down here. It says, behold, the days come, saith Yahweh, that the plowman shall overtake the reaper, and the treader of grapes, him that soweth seed. And the mountains shall drop sweet wine, and all the hills shall melt. And I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel, and they shall build the waste cities, right? Like I told you, we're going to take this technology and use it to our advantage to deal with. See, they think that they're using it to further imprison us. But the Most High is going to, once they get it to a certain point, the Most High is just going to flip it. And then we're going to take control over these systems, over this creation. They don't see it yet. But I'm telling you, even though I can tell them right now that this is going to happen, they don't think that it's going to happen. Now let me go to Isaiah. So again, I'm just trying to set up that the spirits that are over these other religions, Christianity and Islam, is not the God of the Bible. And you got to understand that. So here in verse 1, the Most High, my grandfather, is going to declare that he's going to set up King David. Right? He's going to set up King David. King David is Jacob. And it says, for Yahweh will have mercy upon King David, and yet will choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of King David. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh. You see, so that goes right back to what's going to happen. So when you now that you're hearing the declaration of the Church of King David, you're supposed to know that now this salvation is now at nigh, because now the people that have put us into slavery, as Moroni has testified, the people that put us into slavery, that put us underneath their hand, is now going to have to be put into possession, our possession. We're going to take control over these people, all the heathens, all. You see right here? All the heathen, right? Which are called by my name, right? And this means that even some of you so-called Israelites, because some of you Israelites, which are born of Israel but are not of Israel, you're going to be taken into our possession too. Even though you outwardly look like us, you're not us. So we're going to take you also into possession as well, because you prefer to be underneath the thumb of Ishmael and Esau. For the servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. So that's plain. Now let's go to Genesis, and let's hear when Esau. Now it's going to speak about Esau, but Esau is higher than Ishmael. So whatever is being said here to Esau, which translates today as Christians, right? The Christian God is announced in Genesis 27, and we're going to find out who it is. And obviously, this is a story about when Isaac, who is Christ, Isaac is Christ, gives Jacob the blessing. All right, so I'm just going to read this. So this is what Isaac says to King David, who is Jacob. All right, he says, verse 27 says, and he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him and said, see, the smell of my son is the smell of the field which Yahweh has blessed. Therefore God give thee the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth and plenty of corn and wine. Now listen to what he says. So remember, Jacob is King David. This is why King David is going to be the firstborn, because he was Jacob. All right, so Christ says to King David, let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Let me repeat that. This is the blessing that Christ gives to King David. It says, let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Now let's go back to Jubilees. Right? And it says, I will make thee very great, and I will make thee into nations. So this is what's being said to Abraham, and kings shall come forth from thee. The king, the highest king that comes from Abraham, besides Mashiach, because Mashiach, we say he is king, but he's really God, right? Is King David. So now we come back over here. Let people serve thee and nations bow down to thee. Be Lord over thy brethren. So his brethren at this time was Esau, right? But also this comes back with the sons of his own sons, right? But his number one brother is Esau. And let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blessed thee. Now, so remember, Tucker Carlson was getting on Ted Cruz about it not being found in Genesis that the nation of Israel, as you know it today, is the nation which the Bible says anyone who blesses Israel should be blessed, and anyone who curses Israel should be cursed. But actually, it is. And it's a reference to those that bless King David shall be blessed, and those that curse King David shall be cursed. Let me read it again. So Tucker Carlson was dead wrong, because it's here, right here in Genesis 27, verse 29. And he even cited this verse. But he knew it was not talking about a nation, a people. It was specifically talking about King David, that anyone that curses King David is going to be cursed, and anyone that blesses King David is going to be blessed. Let me read it again. So it's talking about one individual. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee. Why are these nations going to bow down to King David? Because he is their God. Christ is Isaac. Isaac makes King David the God of the nations. He is the ruler of the nations. What does he say? Be Lord over thy brethren, and let thy mother's sons bow down to thee. Cursed be everyone that curses thee, and blessed be he that blesses thee. Let's continue. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing King David was yet scarce gone from the presence of Christ, his father. Again, this is why I'm telling you that King David is the Son of God. Christ is God. The presence of Christ, his father. That Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting. And he also made savory meat and brought it unto his father, and said unto his father, let my father arise and eat of his son's venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Christ his father said unto him, who art thou? And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau. And Christ trembled. Right? Pay attention. And Christ trembled very exceedingly, and said, who? Where is he that has taken venison and brought it to me, and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau heard these words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also, O my father. See this is how we know what's going to happen to Christians if you don't get yourselves in order and understand who Christ authorized to be your Lord. He authorized King David. King David is your God. King David is your Lord. King David is the one that you're supposed to bow down to. Now, remember when Mashiach said that many of y'all are going to come and knock on the door saying, open unto us. This is the reason why he's not going to open them to you. Because you're following behind that Christian way. You're following behind Esau's way, right? And so you're going to come to the door and you're going to knock on the door, and he's going to say, I don't know you. Just like he did not recognize Esau, or he did not recognize Jacob, right? This is why he's going to say, I know you not. And you're going to be crying to him, bless me, even me also, oh my father. So you're going to recognize who Christ is then. And so Esau said, Isaac says, thy brother came with subtlety and has taken away thy blessing. And he said, is he not rightly named Jacob? For he has supplanted me these 2 times, which is a lie. The first time when King David actually got Esau to sign a bill of sale for the birthright. And so the birthright actually belonged to King David. It did not belong to Esau. It did not belong to him. He sold it fair and square. So King David was supposed to get this blessing. But Esau was counting on the fact that Isaac did not know this, and he didn't. He didn't know that Esau sold his birthright and gave it to Jacob. So Jacob did not steal this birthright. He got it fair and square. And he got Esau to sign the bill of sale. So Esau goes on to say, he took away my birthright, which is a lie, right? And behold, now he has taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? So now even though the blessing of blessings have been given to King David, Esau wants that. He wants to be given some type of blessing. In Isaac, Christ does accommodate him. And it says, and Christ answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord. So did y'all hear that? So Christ said that King David is Esau's Lord. So if you're a Christian, then you're supposed to assign all of your supplications and your devotion to King David, because Christ has now made him your Lord. He is your Lord, not Christ. Christ is not your Lord. He is not your Lord. He's the Lord over the Israelites, right? He is the one over the Israelites. So Christ says, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brothers have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing? My father, bless me, even me also. So in that day, y'all knocking on the door asking for Christ to open up to y'all. He's not going to do it, because there's no way he can bless you if you didn't pay attention to any of these rules. You don't know what's going on. You don't even know that Isaac is Christ. There's nothing new underneath the sun, including Christ. O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling place shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. And by the sword thou shalt live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass that thou, when thou have dominion, thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So this is what happened. See, when the blacks that were ruling Europe were taken down, this is when the fulfillment of what Christ said to Esau began to take place. Let me read it again. It says, and by the sword thou shalt live, and thou shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion. This is when they got dominion, right? In 711, when they took down the black nobility out of Europe. They got rid of the Moors out of Spain. And that began the transatlantic slave trade. So this is what Christ is telling them. So Christ is speaking. Hey, he knew that King David and them was going to go off, and that it was going to come a time when they would go off, that they would begin to use Esau or Christianity to punish us. And that's all that it was designed to do. It was designed to punish us, right? And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And so this is where we are now. This is where we are now. And so Ishmael and Esau, Islam and Christianity have they've been trying to maximize this blessing that Christ gave to Esau. When black nobility would no longer have the so-called Europeans in check. And that happened in 1711 when they broke the control of the Moors. And then they came out of that control. And what was the very first thing that these people did? They began to enslave us. Because that was the prophecy, that they would enslave us. So I'm going to come here to Psalms 82. And I'm going to read verse 3, where Esau Christianity and Islam, Esau and Ishmael, were confederate against us from the beginning. And it says they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And one day we're going to do a video on what it means right here, the hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a race, that the name Israel may be no more remembrance. And it should say remembrance in them. Right, so they took that out of our minds and out of our hearts when they got the dominion that Christ was telling Esau. Right, when thou shalt have the dominion. So when they got that dominion, they took this away from us. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against us, against the children of Israel, against King David. And what is confederate against us? The churches of Edom and the churches of the Ishmaelites, right? The tabernacle of Edom and the Ishmaelites, they are confederate against us. And what do? And it says that they hate our God. Right? Because our God did not choose them. Right? He chose Israel to be his people. He didn't choose them to be his people. And so this is why they hate us. They that hate thee have lifted up the head. Right? Because those spirits, the devil and the spirits and authority that are with them are making them feel like they are the chosen people. Now let me go here. Let's look at a synonym for tabernacle. Clearly it's church and mosque, right? Church and mosque. So when you read this, when it says the tabernacles of Edom, right? The tabernacles of Christianity, that great and abominable church in which the devil is the founder, right? That church which the devil is the founder, the mosque where the devil is the founder. They have taken counsel together with one consent. They are confederate against the children of Israel. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a race, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. So they've been trying to keep black people away from knowing who they are from the beginning. Now let's go here. To Isaiah 60 and 8. And in this verse, we're going to read that those that don't want to serve King David, that nation that doesn't want to serve King David, is going to get cut off. All right, because in this reboot of the system, they're not going to play with the nations, because the nations have really shown that they are following behind the devil. Because they have cut us off from being the nation. We don't have a nation. Isn't it ironic that we are the only group of people on the face of the planet that share nations with other people? We don't have a Pacific nation that is our nation, because they're not going to give it to us. They have said, cut us off from being a nation, so black people don't have a nation. So let me read this. And it says, who are these that fly as a cloud, and as doves to their windows? Do you know what this is talking about? Well, to understand this, you have to go to Revelations and read in Revelations, I believe it's chapter 11, where Only the Israelites are those that go up to meet Christ in that cloud. Okay? Only the Israelites. It says, who are these that fly as a cloud and as doves to their windows? When you see a depiction of the new city, Jerusalem, and you see those little gates, right, that's supposed to be the size of a pearl, where flesh and blood cannot enter, only your spirit can enter into that tabernacle, into the church of King David. Those are the windows that is being referenced here, right? Who are these that fly? We're going to fly through the sky like Superman, right? And we're going to fly up to the new city, Jerusalem, which is going to be above the position of the moon, because the moon is below that position. So we will literally fly to those gates. In each gate, as we know from the book of Revelations and in the Old Testament, that all of the gates belong to the children of Israel. So if you're not a descendant of the children of Jacob, which is King David, if you're not a descendant of King David, you can't enter into those gates, because you're not chosen to enter into those gates. So that connects. So let me go back here. All right, so this very first verse here, verse 8 says, who are these that fly as a cloud and as doves to their windows? Well, it's the children of Israel. Because in Revelations 11:11, and it says, and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from God entered into them. And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them, not their friends, their enemies beheld them. So they're going to say, who are these that fly as a cloud? And so that connects to Revelations 11 and 12, right? Because the only ones that go up to meet Christ in the air on Mount Zion are the 144,000 of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. I'm sorry, Christians, Muslims, you can't enter into this thing. And so there's a reason why you can't enter into it, because those spirits that are in authority over you. Now let's go back to Isaiah. It says, surely the owl shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from afar, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of Yahweh thy Elohim, and the Holy One of Israel, because he has glorified thee. Now listen. And the sons of the strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Therefore thy gates shall be open continually. They shall not be shut day or night. Which means in the kingdom of God, that these people are going to have to work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Maybe they'll get one day off. But it shall not be shut day or night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. Right? So we're going to take everything that these people got. Like I'm telling you, when this time comes, everything, the wealth and everything is going to be translated back to us, and that their kings may be brought. But listen, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish. Yea, those nations shall utterly be destroyed. Now let's go to the Quran. So the God, the person that Christians and Muslims are supposed to be worshiping is King David. And because they're refusing to worship, you see, the angels, the spirits in authority, Satan and them have done a really good job at hiding that fact, because that's what the Most High wanted. They hid it. They hid it, right? They wanted the Christians and the Muslims to be led astray, right? So that they wouldn't fulfill the Most High's will. So the Most High hid that the fact that they are supposed to be worshiping King David, because that's what his son, who is Isaac, decreed, because Isaac is Christ. So let me read this here in the Quran, and I believe how you say this, Al-Baqarah 2:122. Now listen to what this says in the Quran, because these angels, these spirits that are in authority, they know that the Most High really, that the Most High favors the children of Israel. They know that. And this comes out in the Quran, when it says, "O children of Israel, remember my favor, wherewith I favored you, and how I preferred you to all creatures." So this entity that is Allah is saying that he prefers the children of Israel above his own worshipers. But doesn't that make sense? Now let me click on this, because it's going to say something else here. So even the spirits in authority know that the children of King David are preferred above all other people. And yet they will tell you that Islam doesn't have a chosen people, but yes, they do. And it's still the same people that's in the King James. The children of Israel are God's chosen people. Now here's Allah saying it again. "O children of Israel, remember my favors upon you, and how I honored you above the others." You're starting to understand what's going on. You see, once you get to a certain level, you understand that the spirits in authority can't speak against us, because what did it say? What did my grandfather say? He did not appoint any angel or spirit, right? That these angels and these spirits are not to confound us. They're here to confound them. They're here to lead them astray. So when we have here the spirit of authority that's in the Quran saying, "O children of Israel, remember my favors upon you," right? Because they can't fudge with you, if you understand what I'm saying. They can't fudge with you, right? When these spirits of authority see you go into a mosque or a Christian church, they wonder what the heck are you doing there? They probably bugging. They probably, these angels behind the scene are probably just cracking up every time they see one of y'all go into these mosques or these churches, because y'all not supposed to be there. Y'all not the people that they are supposed to be confounding. Y'all not the people that they're supposed to be keeping away from our grandfather. Let me read this again. "O children of Israel, remember my favors upon you, and how I honored you above the others." Let me go back to how it said it the other way. All right, so here it is again. "O children of Israel, remember my favor wherewith I favored you, and how I preferred you to all creatures." So that's enough said. So we proved that the spirits of authority that are set up to lead you astray are those angels that are doing the bidding of my grandfather in Christianity and in Islam. But before you know it, when it's revealed that King David is the person whom they're both supposed to be assigning their prayer and their worship to, it's going to be too late. It's going to be too late. So now I'm going to close out with this Revelation chapter 3, verse 9, where it says, behold, I will make them of the church of Satan, right? Remember, we just read in the seal book of Moroni that the devil is the founder of the churches of the Gentiles, meaning the devil is the founder of the religions of the Gentiles, right? The non-Israelite nations. And what do we have here? This is Mashiach saying, behold, I will make them of the churches or the mosque of Satan, which say they are Jews and are not. Now, in Islam, now I went to Reddit on here and I found this thread. And this is, I'm going to show you how they go against the God of the Bible, my grandfather. When in Islam, when they say that in Islam, there are no chosen people. But then you can go inside, and I've been there, you can go inside a mosque and then they'll read straight from the Bible. So how can they say that there are no chosen people, then yet pick up the Bible and read it to validate the Quran? That makes no sense. So here this person asks, are Jews considered the chosen people by Allah? And this person answers, no, there are no chosen people in Islam. See, this is how the angels have set it up. This is how Satan set it up. He set it up that they don't believe that there are chosen people, right? But we know in the scriptures that my grandfather, indeed, he has chosen King David, and he will choose Israel to be his people again, right? Right here, for Ishmael and his sons and his brothers in Esau, Yahweh did not choose to approach him. And he chose them not because they are the children of Abraham, but because he knew them. But he chose Israel to be his people. So you can't say that you don't believe that the Most High doesn't have a chosen people. Now in Islam, underneath the spirits and authority which the Most High has given you, which Allah is a spirit and authority, he's not going to teach you that there are chosen people, because he has to lead you astray from the Most High. He has to convince you that the Most High doesn't have a chosen people, because that vibrates with your thinking. All right, so it goes on to say, you are deemed worthy based on your actions, not your race. See, when the Most High chose the children of Israel, he chose a race, whether y'all like that or not. That's Bible 101. But then if we go down here, this person, Mathis Kings 1776, he's going to point out what I just read. How in the Quran, see, he's saying that the Muslims are lying, because in the Quran, it captures that Allah has said to the children of Israel what I just read. O children of Israel, remember all the favors I granted you, and how I honored you above all others. So Allah has chosen. See, the angels know that the children of Israel are God's chosen people.